The healthiest people around the world eat almost the same meals over and over and over again. As I mentioned before, alkalinity is the terrain of healing. So when your body is slightly alkaline, oxygen flows more freely, cells detoxify more efficiently, enzymes work better, nutrients absorb more easily, inflammation reduces, and the immune system becomes more resilient. So if this perspective resonates with you and you want to go deeper, as a thank you gift for being a YouTube subscriber and listening to this video till now, I want to give you access to a carefully curated gut healthy recipe ebook with very high Sattvic ratings. Should you eat fruit on an empty stomach or not? Should you drink chai or coffee first thing in the morning? Is lemon acidic or alkaline? Is green tea better than coffee? Please stop majoring in minor things. In the world of health and nutrition, this is one of the biggest mistakes people make. You see, these tips are not wrong, but obsessing over them hardly moves the needle. Instead, they create confusion, overwhelm, and eventually lead to inaction. Let me give you a personal example. I love chai, and so do millions of people across the world. Now, technically speaking, chai is acidic, and many experts will tell you to avoid it, especially on an empty stomach. So one fine morning, I'm like, Akash, let's do the right thing and replace my morning chai with green tea. And you know what happened? I had a flat, unproductive morning, which then spiraled into a not so good day. If I can recall, my cravings went up. I snacked more, especially on sweet foods. And I really don't know why it happened, but it did. You see, my overall lifestyle is very healthy. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't eat junk, and I rarely eat out. But those 2 cups of daily chai that I have with sugar, that's my joy, and I'm okay with that. And for you, it might be your cafe latte or black coffee first thing in the morning. When you allow yourself a few limited conscious indulgence, you cut a deal with your mind, and that helps you to stay disciplined for the rest of the day. And this is where the 90-10 rule comes in. 90% of the time you do what supports your health, and then 10% of the time you do what you truly love, guilt-free with no negotiation. A less aggressive approach is, of course, an 80-20 or even a 70-30 approach that I give to my clients based on level of their dedication. The point that I'm trying to make here is that when you watch a lot of reels and shorts, that half-baked knowledge starts to create doubt and confusion around your favorite habits, and they throw you out of balance. And that's why instead of hacks and quick tips, I teach foundational concepts. Because when you have a 360 overview of the subject matter, you stop majoring in minor things. Eventually, this approach leads you to focus on building and remain consistent with key health habits. With this approach, you get best of both worlds. You fully and truly enjoy your indulgence, where your mind remains calm, and in return, help you keep your health promises. So in this video, I will explain a foundational concept related to the acid-alkaline spectrum, also known as pH, and whether this is something we should pay attention to. In simple terms, I will explain what an alkaline diet is. I will also reveal one major key biomarker that tells us about acidic load in the body, and finally how this concept deeply relates to the 3 Gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So let's start with the basics. pH stands for potential of hydrogen. It is a scientific scale that measures how acidic or alkaline a substance is. The scale runs from 0 to 14, where 7 is neutral, like pure water. Anything below 7 is acidic, and anything above 7 is alkaline. Each whole number on this scale represents a 10-fold change, which means pH 6 is 10 times more acidic than pH 7, and pH 5 is 100 times more acidic than pH 7. So how does this relate to nutrition and health? Carefully consider this chart that I've picked up from my holistic nutrition coach certification. Now, every food you eat, every breath you take, every thought you think, and every emotion you feel contributes to either an acidic or alkaline load on your system. Yes, you heard it right. If you think nutrition is only related to food, think again. Just like eating junk food can increase acidic load in the body, the same way negative thoughts can trigger inflammation, which is acidic in nature. Watch the video till the end as I will tell you how to get this gut healthy, highly sattvic alkaline meal recipe ebook for free. Now, your blood pH is tightly regulated between 7.35 and 7.45 most of the time, which is slightly alkaline. Now, this is because alkalinity is the terrain of healing. I'll come to this in a bit. Now, if your lifestyle, diet, or stress levels constantly push your body towards acidity, your buffering systems start getting overworked. Your body relies on several buffering mechanisms to maintain balance. For example, your lungs remove carbon dioxide, which is one of the most acidic substances in nature. Your kidneys excrete acids through urine. Your bone release minerals to neutralize excess acidity. In short term, this system works beautifully. But when acidity becomes chronic, these systems are under constant strain. So yes, 1 or 2 cups of chai are absolutely fine, but if you're drinking 3 to 5 cups daily, for example, that will increase acidic load. Add to that junk food, poor sleep, shallow breathing, and chronic stress. Now your body is constantly trying to put out fires. A simple marker you can look at is your urine pH. Ideally, it should be between 6 and 7. So I usually share my own report, and to showcase that I'm not simply an armchair professor spitting out theoretical concepts. Instead, I walk my talk and follow these guidelines that I'm speaking in this video to the T. So if your urine pH is constantly below 6, it is a sign that acidic load in your body is too high and that you need to focus on increasing alkalinity through diet and lifestyle. As I mentioned before, alkalinity is the terrain of healing. So when your body is slightly alkaline, oxygen flows more freely, cells detoxify more efficiently, enzymes work better, nutrients absorb more easily, inflammation reduces, and the immune system becomes more resilient. Think of alkalinity as healthy garden soil, rich, oxygenated, and supportive of growth and healing. Now, it is important to understand one key nuance here. Blood pH rarely shifts drastically because it is tightly regulated. However, when your buffering systems are overwhelmed over time, tissues like cells, mitochondria, and even cerebrospinal fluid can become more acidic, reducing energy production and impairing cellular function. At the same time, tissues that are meant to stay acidic for protection, such as the stomach, skin, and vaginal mucosa, can become too alkaline, increasing susceptibility to infections. And this is why the concept of acid and alkaline is not about extremes, but about creating the right internal terrain. Now let's connect this to ancient wisdom. In Ayurveda and yogic philosophy, everything operates through 3 gunas: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Now Sattva represents balance, clarity, and harmony. It is associated with calmness, gratitude, joy, fresh and whole foods, deep sleep, and regular movement. This state naturally supports alkalinity in the body. And the first column in this chart represents sattvic energy. And as you start to move towards the right side, sattvic energy starts to reduce. Rajas represents activity and stimulation. It includes ambition, restlessness, overthinking, and stimulants like coffee, tea, and more foods, which are mainly part of columns 3 and 4. The Rajas state is neutral and slightly acidic. The Rajas state is neutral to mildly acidifying. Tamas represents inertia and decay. It is associated with fear, anger, depression, processed foods, alcohol, late nights, and a sedentary lifestyle. And this state is strongly acidifying. So, to summarize, acid alkaline spectrum is not just about food, it includes emotions, sleep, movement, thoughts, and lifestyle. Food is energy, thoughts, which are electromagnetic energy. Everything is connected. And at Fabulous Body, we teach that any disease that manifests in the physical body first manifests in the mind, in our consciousness, and then finally expresses itself physically. So, if this perspective resonates with you and you want to go deeper, as a thank you gift for being a YouTube subscriber and listening to this video till now, I want to give you access to a carefully curated gut healthy recipe ebook with very high Sattvic ratings. You see, the key to an alkaline diet is not complexity, is simplicity and consistency. Choose 3 to 5 meal combinations that align with your cultural preferences and lifestyle. Fine tune them to make them more delicious and also ensure that they easily fit into your budget. And this way, you can realistically stick with them for years and even for life. I'll let you in a big secret. The healthiest people around the world eat almost the same meals over and over and over again. They decide exactly what they are going to eat for breakfast, for lunch, or for dinner. They combine a few nutrient-dense ingredients and ensure that these ingredients are easily available. They are in alignment with their culture and their finances, and they stick with it. So if you would like access to this guide, comment Sattvic below and we will send you the free gut healthy recipe ebook. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Akash and I'll see you next week.